I mean, that's what an hour and a half drive now. Hour and 15.
Tony says 45 minutes, so I don't know. He says we just go straight 75. I mean, maybe from here with the extra 15, 20 minutes to get, you know, there, but yeah, that's what he said. I don't know. I've never golfed it. We went down to that course called Freedom, which, yeah.
I've never heard of it, so.
It reminds me of Southport Springs.
Okay.
Short but tight.
Gotcha.
And yeah, I think I told you about it when we golfed it. We only golfed it once, but it's one of those ones where you're like really tempted to go for the green because it's like, you know, the par 4 is like 210 and you're like, oh hell, you know,
yeah.
let me go for it, right? And then you know, you end up in the water or the damn woods, and you know, because everything, like I said, everything's real tight there. And we didn't catch on until about halfway through. It's like, you know, let's just take what it's given us and quit going for the same thing.
So I guess it's the freedom to make double bogeys and triple bogeys if you want.
Exactly.
That's the freedom.
Yeah. If you can hit your mark every time, you could probably, you know, scratch golf the darn thing. But so one thing I've been trying to be conscious of is, you know, one, my takeaway of turning instead of using my arms and wrists, and then trying to keep this in, like you said, in front of me instead of getting it behind me. So I don't know how successful until I see it on video, I think I'm successful, but
okay.
or I think
well, let's just kind of warm up here, just kind of ease into it, and just kind of take a look at the old camera.
Can we put up there the before or after the ball?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know why they keep taking this thing down on me. I put it up there every time. And every time.
Somebody doesn't want to see it.
Apparently not, or they just don't like where it's at. I don't know. I keep moving it around, so maybe they'll hide it. feel like you're kind of pushing the club through instead of pulling it through a
Yeah.
little bit?
That one was not good at all.
Give me one more and we'll take a look on video here. Oh, sorry about that.
Put it outside.
Let's take a look on video on this one. All right. I think what I'm seeing here, you see that right arm kind of getting stuck or not kind of moving right, but I want to take a look here and see, I think we got a little bit of sway issue going.
Again,
So let's just take a look and see. As you can kind of see, your chest now is in this direction. Right now it's getting over here. Right, and we see JT's more right down over here. Let's kind of see how we do here. Yeah, and then you got to kind of lean forward to get that thing to kind of go a little bit. And then it just probably feels like everything's stopped here with your chest and letting your arms come through a little bit. Is that how it kind of feels a little bit?
yeah.
All right, and we've got a big breakdown of the arms here at impact, right? You see this left arm really
Bent out.
bent out, right?
Yeah.
Quite a bit, right? So really want to have that feeling, if you kind of set up here for me real quick, at least on that side of the ball, okay? So as you get into impact, just kind of give me that look at impact, what you're kind of doing here. You're kind of getting this guy like this, right? What do we want to kind of focus on here just a little bit here with this guy is, let's try to focus on getting this right hand or right arm extended and rotated, okay? So, I mean, we could focus on the left if you want, like catch raindrops over here, that might be an idea, but for today, I think if we just kind of feel like this right elbow or right arm as we come through is rotating and extending, that will help get us to a better follow through with our upper structure or arm structure right there.
Yeah.
Now the other part is you can see that you're kind of swaying a little bit.
Okay.
Okay? And let's kind of do this just for a sec. Okay? So if you stand right here next to me, right there, okay, what I want you to do is take your club, put it right here on your hip line. Okay? And what I want you to do is I want you to feel like you're pushing your hip back behind you. Yeah. But try to keep that club a little bit on there. See how you're over rotating a little bit? Okay, see how you're going like this, see how the club's going like that? Okay, so try to feel like you're pushing it back like this. There you go, good. Okay? All right, feel like you're pushing that right hip back behind you, okay?
Yeah.
So as I was kind of telling Delray yesterday, right? We want to kind of feel like our hips are turning, you know, back and behind us at about a 45-degree angle. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Right, so if I can get your hips to about 45 turning behind you, that's going to allow your shoulders to turn to 90, right? Double what we usually do. Okay, but the big thing is do you notice where your pressure is in your feet?
Yeah.
Right? It's not off to the side. You don't feel your hip going out to the side.
Right.
Right? And now when you stay, go ahead and do it again one more time for me. Now when I look at you, now your chest is over here instead of coming over here.
Yeah.
To compensate for the weight that you've put over here. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Something has to be balanced, right? If I go like this, right? This side has to be over here, this side has to be over here.
Yeah.
It's controversial. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we just got to get that feeling of getting that hip pushed back behind us a little bit. Mm-hmm. and then just trying to focus on keeping that right arm, you know, driving, you know, rotating and extending out and away from us. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions right now, Mike?
Nope.
So, give me a few swings here. Don't worry about the ball. Okay, just try to feel that hip motion that we're talking about, pushing that hip back. Yep. Yep. There you go. Good. There you go. It's looking better. Pushing that hip back. There you go. Good job of letting that right side release on that one. Good job. There you go. Yeah. Got a little crazy on that one, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's do about 4 or 5 balls here. And just kind of focus on feeling, you know, maybe even getting the club in there and kind of pushing that hip back, but get that feeling of getting that hip pushing back behind us, okay? Turn around our spine. Feel your hip turn back behind you. There you go, good. How's it feeling?
Yeah.
Okay?
Still a lot of work to do.
I got you. I got you. Give me one more and let's take a look on the video here, right? What was up with that head movement?
I took my eye off the ball.
I mean, you definitely took your eye off the ball there.
I did that yesterday on a drive too. Like when I was in my backswing, I'm looking like back here.
Yeah, well, let's take a look at that. So, let's take a look and see if we're getting rid of that slide a little bit to start off with, okay? Okay, better. There's a little bit of a lift there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if we could get you to get like right here, you're gonna be able to drive that through. But once you get here, you kind of snap that rubber band a little bit. See how you start to rock back now? All right, now you've got yourself kind of stuck a little bit here, and now it's just kind of everything's got a chest has to stop. Hands have gone too far back. Does that make sense? All right, for what we're trying to do. So if I got you like right here, that'd be good. For what our because I can see plenty of your back shoulder at this point. You've got plenty of shoulder turn.
Yeah.
Right? There's no need to keep getting the arms to keep going, right? All right, boom. Stop right there. And just keep that left arm a little bit straighter, just a smidge maybe, right? We'll take a look down the line here, but I think that right elbow is poking out a little bit, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if I look at JT here, see how his arms are staying a little bit closer together here,
Yeah,
where yours aren't,
yeah.
okay? So
He's
that,
more extended out, yeah, yeah.
well, he's, you know, he's a lot more flexible than both of us, right? So he's going to be able to get in some positions. But if I can get you right here, you've got plenty of shoulder turn, more than, you know, your hips have turned 45 degrees, your shoulders are probably a little bit past 90 at this point, right?
Okay.
So a little bit of some over rotation with the shoulders a little bit and a little bit of a lift.
Okay.
So that's probably where you're feeling disconnected. And
Yeah,
would you agree with that?
yeah.
Okay. So what we need to kind of feel like is that we're kind of more of a shorter, wider swing, more of a
Yeah.
John Rahm kind of feel.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. So for you, I just want you to feel like you get your left arm parallel to the ground. Does that make sense? You're still going to go past that, right?
Yeah.
Right?
yeah.
Okay. But maybe just for this motion or movement prep, you know, just work on just getting that left arm parallel to the ground and then getting through. Swaying a little bit there, right?
Yeah.
Let's take one down the line here. And we'll have a quick look at that guy. And then we'll talk about some of the things we need to work on, and then we'll kind of head on over to the chipping if you still want to, my friend. If not, we can hang on. It's whatever works best for you. See if we can get that a little bit better. Angle just a bit. Do this. All right, give me one more swing, please, with that beautiful yellow ball. Let's talk about that maybe. Oh, wow, they got all kinds of new stuff. That's cool. I can't wait to dig into that one, Tom. All right, let's see what we got here. Well, that's a lot of head movement into the ball right there.
Yeah.
All right, so first thing I kind of notice is the head's really moving far forward here, isn't it? Okay. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, let's see how our hand path is. Okay, so that's why I want to try to keep that left arm short of where we go. That way this guy doesn't start to collapse back behind us, right? So I think what we kind of talked about last session, and I thought it kind of worked best for you, but maybe it's something we need to repeat, is feeling like that right arm is straight, right? Okay, so making sure that guy doesn't collapse on us. Okay. Yeah, because once that thing collapses like this, now you're just kind of, you're pushing the club, not really pulling it through. All right, but the big thing I see here, at least from a technical standpoint, is just how much that head, as you go back, is going into the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that's really tough to recover from once we do that. Once we start going in there, you're gonna have to really reverse out to get into that position.
Yeah.
And to me, I just find if we could keep the head stable in all directions as much as possible,
Yeah.
consistency tends to follow it. I'm not gonna say every time, but we have a better chance at it. Okay, so pretty sure Delray had the same issue, but I think it was the opposite. I think when he got here, his head was going back, where yours is going forward. So let's kind of work on that just for a sec, okay?
Okay.
You see anything else there that you wanted to discuss, or anything else? Want me to run through it again for you? Okay. Okay, no problem. I'll sit here. Let me kind of grab something. Talk about how we can kind of fix this a little bit. All right. So I think the two things I would kind of work on when you're at home,
Yeah.
one would be something like this drill that we're going to do, and probably the impact bag, so you can start getting your arms out in front of you. Okay, so get the bag out there, and what I would kind of do is just get the bag light and push it. Just feel yourself making that motion. It's going to help you with your driver too, because that's what we want to do. But the big thing is, you know, making sure that you're getting your arms out in front of you a little bit. Okay, so set on up for me, my man. This is another drill we kind of work on now. Obviously, you can get a wall and put your head up against it.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think that's gonna quite work. Let me see. Go ahead and set up for me. All right, so let's just kind of keep our head right there. Okay, and try to feel like you're keeping it there, or you know, not going into it. Just kind of do this. Thought that thing would stay a little bit, so I'll just do it manually. Alright, so if we can keep our head in this area, right, if I can feel like my head's against this wall,
Yeah.
right, what's happening to you is that your head's going so far forward that you're cutting your hand path off.
Okay.
And everything has to stop because this guy has no corner to go around,
Yeah.
right, because we moved our head 6 inches towards the ball, right, but if I can kind of keep that head back, right, and keep everything here, then it allows that hand path to come through, and it allows me to, the ability to keep my hands extended. Right, but once I get here like this and I'm coming on in,
Yeah.
if I extend, you're going to miss. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right, because everything's moving in this direction. So we want to kind of stay central right here, and that way we can kind of, and that'll allow your arms to stay extended. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
How the two kind of work together there? Okay, so if I kind of just put this right here, good. Good. So feel like your head kind of slides back on it, kind of like this a little bit, just a smidge, okay, instead of going forward. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. Can you give me a swing down? Just kind of give me an idea what you kind of feel there a little bit. Can you give me a sense?
Yeah. Yeah. Feels like I got more room.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay. So I think that's where we want to stay at right there, just for a sec, okay? There you go. Good. Good swing right there. Okay. Again. Do it again, and we're gonna videotape it. Do it one more time. Let's take a look. Okay. So let's just watch the little white line in the back here.
Yeah, still kind of doing it though.
Mm-hmm. You can see now you have a better awareness for it because you get here like this, and now watch your head go back out.
Yeah.
Okay, that's at least understanding. Okay, because before you just kept your head down, 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 down.
Yeah.
Right. So at least you're figuring that out. Okay. All right, but at least what I can see now, now that you're kind of backing out just a little bit, you see how your arms are staying a little bit more extended as you come through?
Yeah.
Okay, whereas before they were like all bunched in here a
Yep.
little bit,
Yep.
okay? So, let's talk about some homework that we need to kind of do,
Okay.
all right? Old wall drill,
Yeah.
okay? The old wall, man, right? Let's get our head right up against there, our forehead right there, and then just kind of turn, right? Feel like, if I take your glove right there, right? That kind of feeling, right? If I just kind of did this and I feel like I pushed that hip back,
Yeah.
does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right, so boom. It's not a full turn, right? But at least it gives me a start to where I need to kind of be
Yeah.
instead of kind of doing this,
Yeah.
falling forward, okay?
Yeah.
Jump on the wall real quick. Okay, arms across your chest, there we go. Good, just kind of give it a light turn. There you go, good,
Yeah.
good. All right, see how everything here wants to turn back behind you really well?
Yeah.
Staying right where your spine should be. Good stuff right there. Okay. And to be honest with you, Mike, I'd rather you turn that much right now,
Yeah.
okay, and stay consistent.
Yeah.
And that way we're keeping our spine angle instead of you getting over rotated and your head's going down to
Yeah.
allow that over rotation. Does that make sense?
Right.
All right. Good. All right, so need to do that quite a bit, right? Get rid of that head movement, that excessive head movement, right?
Yeah.
One. Number two, work on your hip rotation. It kind of goes with our head, right? If I start to go down like this, I'm going to be able to extra rotate and kind of lift a little bit, right?
Yeah.
That head's allowing you to do that. But if I keep that guy in the hub, right, I've got to turn around my spine, turn around my head, and there feels a little resistance, like this guy's here and this guy's over here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Instead of kind of being like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So there's got to be a little bit of that yin and yang on that, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions right there? Okay. Keep your head against the wall. Just
Yeah.
make those turns. Get used to that feel, right? And when you're over the ball, it should feel like you're turning less.
Okay.
That's the feeling that I want you to kind of have,
Okay.
right? Turning less, getting more distance out of it.
Okay.
Okay? Good. All right, let us grab the old, you got the 56 or the 60?
Well,
Or 50?
I guess I'll start out with what I normally use, and then we make it, you know.
Yeah, why don't you do this? Why don't we, we'll go, what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump us onto the course here real quick. And we'll just kind of put it around the green here and kind of play some simulated holes a little bit. But what I want to kind of do is just kind of see what your technique is, what's your strategy for that technique,
Yeah.
right, and how you execute it. Okay. Let's just go to Ireland. If I'm gonna do it, let's do it. Got a room ready to go. Oh yeah. Look at this place. They probably got one in there.
Yeah. Or at least they should.
I bet that bar is well stocked in there. I bet that bar is well stocked. All right, here we go. Boom. Go with that. We'll select that hole. Looks cool. And I want to place the ball. And we're gonna go. Okay, let's start with that. Okay. All right, so what we have here is 43 yards.
Yeah.
Okay, kind of just outside just inside that 50 mark. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Now let me ask you another question as we before we do this. Do you use a certain ball continuously on the course?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, sometimes there are guys that play with the same one as me, so I will switch. But
Okay.
I usually go between two.
Okay. What ball do you usually play?
But the one I like the best is the Vice Pro.
Okay.
But you know, there's another on Sundays. There's a guy that plays with those exact same balls, exact same color. So usually I'll go to like a.
What color do you usually use?
It's kind of like almost like that orangish yellow one. It's kind of too multicolor.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. So what I want you to do is I want you to grab one or two of your own balls
Yeah.
to use for the wedges.
Okay.
Because most of these balls have been hit more than a hooker on Dale paper. There's a Pro V1 in here. I'm surprised somebody hasn't ganked that. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Now, now with a hole like this, what's your thought? Are we going high? Are we going low? Are you looking at a certain area, or are you just saying, I see pin, hit pin?
Yeah. I see pin, hit pin.
Okay.
I mean, you know, I mean, I will look at it and say, okay, well, you know, if it's a raised green, then obviously, you know, if I hit down here, it's going to tend to kind of hit there and not really go anywhere because I'm hitting on the very low side. If I hit in the middle of it, that's probably not so great either. So I would, you know, again, if it's raised, I try to get, you know, right on the upper part of it.
So here's the thing I'll talk about, like a little raised green.
Yeah.
Okay. When you find yourself like that, and let's just say you're kind of like chipping or bumping it up,
Yeah.
do you put a certain type of spin on it?
I don't even.
Okay. So here, I'll give you a little freebie on that one. But what I would kind of do when I have that, right? I'm going to kind of hood the club just a little bit, and I'm going to hook the ball.
Okay.
Hook is going to get up and through there.
Okay.
Does that make sense? It's going to continue to roll.
Yeah.
Right? If I hit my normal pitch shot that I'm trying to spin,
Yeah.
like a milkshake.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Sure.
Right? So old Nicky Price would always kind of get just like this, and he'd hood that thing, and he'd just kind of hit this low little draw.
So when you say hood it, you're talking about like
Yeah.
take some loft off the club?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, we get to the way. That's what's great about this. So many people want to bring the full swing in there, right? And they'd be
Yeah.
like, "I'd never hood a club on a full swing." Of course you wouldn't.
Yeah.
But for little shots, right? So if you come on in here and look face on,
Yeah.
right? Here's normal, right? This is probably what I'm going to kind of do.
Okay.
You see how I kind of hooded that just a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And now I can get my hands around it and really get that little, you know, rotation spin.
Okay.
And it just kind of gives it that extra getting through there.
Yeah.
Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Right? Because the draws or a, you know, little mini hook is going to run through all that stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now,
Mhm.
when you chip like that, are you you're still kind of coming inside out, right?
Yeah, to me, I'm getting everything kind of closed off a little bit, kind of close to it. The club shaft, the face is a little bit closed, and I'm really feeling like I'm kind of hitting a tennis hook. Does that make sense? Like I'm really allowing my right hand to kind of go like this.
Okay.
Right? I'm really trying to get that thing to kind of spin over. And for me, I start to kind of, right, I start to look a little right of my hole
Yeah.
to come on in there.
Okay.
Does that make sense? I mean, a lot of the, like when they studied Zach Johnson, when he was at the peak of his wedge game, he always hit little draws in there, right? And they found out that with that, he gets more spin and more consistent. You're getting more face on the ball
Yeah.
to get that spin compared to where everybody was taught to hit like a cut in there.
Yeah.
Does that make sense a little bit? So hitting a little bit of a draw is a good thing, I
It's
think.
okay.
Just
Yeah.
a small little draw.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not trying to hook it. Okay. But go ahead and let's take a look at your technique here and
So-
kind of talk me through your technique. What you're thinking, what you're doing, where's your landing spot, all that good stuff.
Yeah, you know, I guess I don't even put all that much thought into it. Really what I do is I come up and I say, okay, I'm 43. And to me, I kind of know how far back that means.
Mhm.
Although obviously I don't, because I told you I keep overshooting the damn thing.
But when you say that, right, it just sounds to me like it's in the world of the full swing.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Like
yes.
I know what 43 yards is, right?
Yes.
Kind of like how I know what 150 yards is.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, because like I'll grab this club and let's say if it's 40, I'll probably go to about here.
Mm-hmm.
If it's 50, I'll probably go to about here in my swing, you know, so it'll be more like, it's not kind of like this. And I'll go. And that's about it, yes, I overshoot it. I land about 40 and then it
Okay.
rolls out.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah. You came up just a little short of that. You carried it 40, total
Yeah.
45. So I mean, you're right there, just a little bit past. I mean,
Yeah.
You're 6 feet, 8 feet, maybe.
Yeah.
All right. So.
But, you know, if that's a uphill green, now I'm putting downhill,
Mhm.
which sucks.
Mhm.
I hate doing that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I know I'd rather be down
Mhm.
and coming up at it, but that'll be usually my result. Now I got about a 6-foot downhill putt, you know, and
Slider.
the downhills, if you make them great, and if you don't, you know, now you got one coming back up.
Absolutely.
You know.
Absolutely. So, go ahead and set up for me here. Okay. And I want you to tell me, are you chipping it or pitching it? And when I talk about chip, I mean we're going to stay closer on the ground.
Yeah.
And when I talk about pitch, we're going to take a lot more air.
Okay.
So when you get on over here and you're getting into it, tell me which one you're kind of thinking, and I want to kind of see your technique for that.
So in my head, I'm the opposite. In my head, I think chipping is up and pitching is low. Is that right?
No, but if that's how your mind works,
Whatever,
we can use
'Cause
those.
I usually just call it bump and run. Like if I come up here and let's say I got a tight lie, there's hardly any grass, you know,
Mhm.
I'm almost on dirt or something. Then what I'll do is I'll grab my 7, and if it's 40, or you know, depending, if I need to hit it within 30 or 40, I usually stick with my 7.
Okay.
It starts getting 50, 60, 70. I'll move up accordingly.
Okay.
And if I need 100 out of it, let's say I'm punching out from behind a tree or something and I want to try and get it up there, you know, I might go as high as a 4-iron, although usually if I hit a 4-iron, I can get maybe 120 out of it, you know what I mean? So I do think, you know, I do those things. Actually, you know, even when I'm, let's say, 10 yards off the green, instead of trying to lift it and
Mhm.
drop it up there, I'll just come up there and just, do a little punch and
Okay.
let it roll.
Safe shot, right? It's a safe shot.
To me, I got less chance of duffing it or hitting it fat or even hitting it thin if all I'm doing is just kind of
Okay.
punching it and
Okay.
running up there. Now, still the problem there is I may go long,
Okay. Well, yeah.
but I can handle long than a fat shot that only goes, a few yards. So that's
Okay.
at least my thinking.
So let's talk about the order of things here, right? Okay, let's talk about the order of things, right? First and foremost, right? In all the world, we got to get on the green,
Yeah.
right? Short, long, whatever, right? We got to have a system that at least gets us on the green, okay? Maybe it doesn't get us as close as we like, but we're putting every time, right? That's the one goal, right? Second is we got to start thinking about what shot we want to hit and what technique we want to use, right? And start getting that into our mind, right? And then once we figure out what the lie will determine what technique we can use, right? I always want to look at the lie, right? If it's a thin lie, I'm not going to use what I call release 2, where I'm over here. I'm going to use release 1. And if I have a fluffy lie, I'm not going to use release 1 because it's just I'm going to use release 2. So knowing what the lie is very important to knowing how I'm going to hit that shot to begin with.
Yeah.
Then I'm starting to look at my distance, and then I'm starting to look at what my obstacles are, right? So that's what I'm trying to do at that point, okay? So with this one being said, just go through your technique here, okay? Go through whatever it is. I'm going to videotape it, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what we're going to do to better that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, good guy. So go ahead.
Okay, so let's say it's a good lie.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll tell you, take my. And I try to pick a point in front of it,
Mhm.
almost like the bowling technique. I try to pick up a point in front of it where I want my club to run through.
Okay.
So I pulled that.
So now here's the question I want to pose to you. Was your thought to carry it there or roll it there? And that.
Yeah, I think obviously roll it there because I know if I carry it there, I'm going to go past.
Right.
But as much as I understand I should pick a spot to try and hit, and then see if it does roll out that much.
That's one way.
I usually don't. I usually just
Okay.
say, okay, this is my distance and this is my swing.
Okay. I'm not gonna. A lot of people do use spots, right? I want to land it here and go. That's one way. I kind of think that way too.
Yeah.
To me, right, when I'm really playing my best, is that when I see this, I get a number here, right? What this number is, and then there's a number that I have in my head. Something lights up. Let's say, whatever this is, 43 yards. Something will light up in my head. 40 yards, right?
Yeah.
And I see that number in my head where I want it to kind of land.
Okay.
I get a feel for it, right? That's where I kind of start to get it, right?
Yeah.
Of course, you can always use a spot and stuff like that. Kind of general area. I wouldn't say like but have like a big beach towel area.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So, but what I'm trying to do is just trying to get your mind engaged to what type of shot you want to hit.
Yeah.
Right. We can teach you the technique's pretty easy, but the real thought is you've got to kind of think a little bit of what you want to do before you execute it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Instead of just like I see 50 yards, hit 50 yards.
Yeah,
Right.
because like some of the best chips I've hit, so I was at Heritage Isle on one,
Mm-hmm.
and I was probably, 30 odd yards out to the left-hand side, and I saw that, there was a big left break.
Okay.
So I aimed out to the right, and it was kind of a downhill. The pin was down the hill, so I knew kind of land at the top, and aim off to the right. And sure enough, I hit it right there, and it rolled down and went right in for a birdie. And I was like, hell, that might have been one of the best chips I've ever done. You know?
Great.
But I did have at least that thought process. It wasn't a long process, you know, I just kind of saw it and went, okay, obviously this is going downhill, it's going to the left. I'm gonna aim right and try and stick it on top of the hill.
Yeah, and I think that part's great. I think you're doing great there. But then it's getting into the ball. Where is the ball placement for me to get that solid contact that I'm looking for? How do I control my trajectory, right?
Okay.
Instead of oop duffing it or sailing it, right?
Yeah.
How do I control that, right?
Yeah,
So
well, like right now, this is the first two I hit have been off to the left side, which I'm more aiming right at the pin, so somehow I'm coming probably across it, maybe.
Probably, but let's take a look at your setup here, and we're gonna change a few things. First, we're gonna start with the chip shot, and then we'll go to the pitch shot. Okay, so. All right, so let's zoom on in here, right? If I put a line right here, okay, right down the middle, that ball's probably a little bit forward of center, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, it looks like it, yep.
Okay. The other thing is that stance is way too wide for what we're trying to do.
Okay.
Okay, so your stance is promoting more of a full swing,
Yeah,
so you're gonna have to decelerate. Your body knows you'll have to decelerate.
okay.
Why are you going left? We're stopping a little bit, decelerating. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so let's kind of go through the swing here. Okay, so good. Pretty good right there. Okay, I like how you're keeping your foot down. That's what we want to do. Okay, but I'm going to kind of jump on in here and kind of show you a few different things. Okay, and just kind of, I'm going to ask you a few questions here, right? So I'm going to kind of leave this up at this point for setup. Okay, let me grab your foot here real quick. And if you stand right over there, okay. So when you set up, okay, do you feel like a pole's running from your shoulder to your foot?
I mean,
No. I can tell, right? So let's kind of start off with our setup here, okay? What we're going to do, okay, for this first setup is we're going to get our feet probably about a club length, okay? Maybe a little bit more than a club head, right? And chip shot, what we're going to do, so I'm going to get this right here, okay? This is going to be where my sternum is, okay? I'm going to get my sternum ahead of that line, okay? This is for a chip shot, okay? Why I'm doing that is so I can introduce more of the leading edge and take away the bounce, okay? When I start talking about a pitch shot, we reverse that, okay? So I'm going to get like this, just as so, okay? So with my feet being about the club length ago, I'm going to choke down to almost where the steel is, okay? Once I start to get my feet a little bit wider, I start to choke out a little bit to match what my feet are doing. Does that make sense? Okay. So once I get like this, okay, as so, I want to feel like I've got weight leaning onto like a door jamb or something like that, or a pole running right here, okay. And now what I want to kind of do is I want to feel like my back of my left arm starts the back of the swing, okay. My hinge should probably get to about right here, okay, because my feet don't allow me to get like this, because then I have to stand up.
Yeah.
So my feet regulate how long I'm going to go. Does that make sense? Okay. Now what I want to kind of do is I come through here, right? I want to feel like my hands are on a chain or going around my waist, and then I want the butt of the club to point back towards my left hip here. Okay. My right foot's not going to move terribly too much. It's going to kind of stay on the ground. So this is what it's going to kind of look like, a little bit more like. Okay. You see where my club is?
Yeah.
Pointing right here towards my left hip.
Yeah.
See how the face is just a little bit left? Let's do that one more time. Where did our ball go? Is that our ball? Just want to make sure we don't lose it. Okay. That is a funky looking ball. That is cool. Right, once again, choking down almost to the steel. Right, weight forward. Okay. here, right? And then I just want to feel like as I come through here, the butt of the club is going to point back towards my left hip. Okay, so here we go. Okay, right heel is just off the ground, toes still making contact, keeping it down.
Yeah.
Hands are very close to the body as I come through here. I'm not getting out the way,
Okay.
anything like that. So it almost feels like my hands, I'll do this, where the idea is, right, if I got right here and I was rocking a baby,
Mhm. Okay.
does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right, for you it's kind of like this.
Yeah. I'm throwing it out. Yeah.
Correct, right? So for this technique, and I probably guess that what we're doing right now, we're not going to get all the way there. Does that make sense? And I'm not worried about that. But it's kind of can be, my hands are on a chain or my elbows are kind of right here,
Mhm.
right? And it's just boom,
Yeah.
right? Elbows to the side as we kind of go through a little bit. So here, there, okay? And getting that butt of that club to point back towards that hip. That's what we call release one. Okay, so once again, kind of show you. All right, so ball back of our sternum, weight on our left side, choking down almost to the steel, okay? Allowing the back of the left arm to kind of start to swing, okay? I'm not really trying to get a lot of wrist hinge here, okay? Here, right? And once I kind of get to about hip high or so, and then it's just kind of swing the club and just focus on getting the butt of that club back towards your hip,
Okay.
okay? Keeping your hands on that chain as you come through. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just kind of start with the technique a little bit.
So is through the whole swing is did you did it looks like you didn't transfer any weight.
No.
You kind of were on here, you know, for the most part you're keeping this at the setup, but you're also keeping that kind of steady through the whole thing.
Correct, correct. So I really want to feel like I'm turning, like this is a post, right? And I'm kind of turning around that post a little bit. And I don't want to have too much of this release.
Yeah.
I want to have more of this release, because then that's going to allow the hands to keep moving through a little bit more consistently than when I get here.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Okay. So it just kind of feels like our right foot's kind of glued a little bit to the ground a little bit.
Okay.
Kind of, you know, something I would not tell anybody on a full swing, right?
Yeah.
Right? But just kind of a little something different there.
Okay, so narrow up the stance so
Mhm.
the shoulder, feet to shoulders.
Right, so this would be your center line,
Yeah.
right? So,
So I'm gonna play it back a little bit.
mhm,
I'm gonna keep my feet
Right.
more of a narrow stance.
correct,
I'm gonna
good.
be on the left hand side.
Yep, we're gonna choke down almost to the steel.
Choke down to the steel.
There you go, good, right?
When I bring it back
So we can bring it back like this. There you go.
and hinge.
Not much of a hinge.
Okay.
Okay, we're not gonna have much of a hinge with the chip,
Okay.
okay? Because we're not really trying to strike down and use the bounce.
Okay.
Okay, we're trying to use more, so it's gonna be a little bit a softer wrist angle. Okay, good, right? And then we wanna feel like our hands are on a chain, right? And then as we come through here, feel like that butt of the club. There you go, good. So that's what we wanna kind of finish,
Okay.
right? And that would be like rocking that baby. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Feet a little bit closer together for me. There you go. There you go. Okay, weight forward. There you go. Good. There you go. Good. Hands on the chain. Okay. So you see how the club's going out the way like this? All right. Come through. Boom. Right, point right back to your hip. Very, very close and soft to your body. Okay. All right. Good. close to you. Okay, yep, there you go. Don't let it get out and away from you a little bit, okay? Then you're starting to introduce the full swing to it. Does that make sense? Weight stays forward. There you go, good. Now give me a swing. There you go. There you go, better. You're kind of moving around a little bit. You feel yourself doing that a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, so try to keep that weight into that left side, right? There you go. Okay, try to keep that right heel down a little bit more though. Good, once again. There you go. Good. Yeah, there you go, good. So I feel like you've got to stay inside this. Okay. Okay. Feet a little bit closer together. Okay. Good. Weight forward. There you go. There you go. Better. You see how you're getting that little weight forward? There we go. Good. There you go. Right? Focus on that butt of the club pointing back towards that left hip as you come through. Good. Weight forward. There you go. Good. Okay. Grab a little drink here. Does that make sense of what I'm talking about there, Mike? Do you see what I'm talking about, or do you need me to demonstrate a little bit more?
Oh, I see what you're talking about. It's just
Getting that feel?
gonna take a while, yeah, to get that feel.
Okay. So let me jump on in there real quick, kind of demonstrate just a little bit for you. A little bit more, kind of give you some visuals. Okay. So once again, all right. So I'm going to put this ball right there in the center. All right. I'm going to get my sternum just a little bit ahead of it. Okay. Get my feet close together. Choke on in here just a little bit. So I'm going to be standing a little bit taller, right? Because the way it is. All right, and then it's just kind of, right? It's just kind of like maybe even a soft little hinge. It's not a hard hinge
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
But I really want to try to, what I kind of see with you a little bit is you kind of get back over here, and then you're kind of moving your feet a little bit. All right, so I want to just kind of feel like I'm getting stuck into the ground just a little bit there. Good. I'm going to hit down on it automatically. All right, and then really all I want to kind of focus on is just a nice natural turn back. Not trying to force it, but really trying to focus on getting that butt of the club back towards my left hip as quick as possible, right? And that's going to get that strike to where I want it to be. So here, okay. Now typically, as I said, this ball is going to go left for me, okay? So it's just one of those things, how I hit the shot and how I think a lot of people hit the shot. But for that, I'm making sure that, and on this one, I'm probably going to aim out to where this dark spot is.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so here we go. Kind of go just like that. Hold it a little bit too. Okay. But probably where I need a 60 right there. But that's what we want to kind of do, and that's going to put. So my smash factor is not very high.
Yeah.
Which what we want. I probably have it a little bit too high. I probably want that under 100.
Okay.
RPMs are probably a little low. I'd probably want that up just a little bit more so it gets a little bit more spin.
Yeah.
But that's something I need to kind of work on, right? But the big thing is for our technique here a little bit, right? Making sure that, at least for this shot here, okay, 1 club length down to about where the steel is, okay? 2 club lengths, okay, feet to about the middle of the grip. 3, about to where it's ending. Does that make sense? Okay. Now that's going to be more where we have like the pitch shot. Okay. This is going to be more the chip shot technique where we kind of keep the feet kind of close together,
Yeah.
kind of controlling shot, keeping it low. Does that make sense? Okay. So jump on in here, big guy. Any questions right there?
No.
Okay. So you know the main focus is just keeping that weight on that left side.
Yeah.
Okay. Trying to keep our heel down, not having that full swing release that we're used to, right? And then making sure that I feel like that butt of the club is getting back towards my hip, right? Feeling my arms being soft to my side. I'm not trying to stay extended like we talked about with the full swing.
Yeah.
It's much more if I was rocking a baby, keeping it right there, close to me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a couple. Feeling yourself. Turn around that pivot point, right? Left side. Good.
All right, let me try.
Yeah. Get that thing on out of your way, though. There you go. Good. Good shot right there. Okay. That's good. I know it's a little long, but the technique looked really good there.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's keep going. Okay, good. Okay. Feet close together, right? Back of the stance, right, or sternum ahead of the ball. A little bit of a hit in that ball. Did you feel that?
Yeah.
Okay. A little bit of a hit right there. So what I kind of saw here, just a little bit, right? What we kind of talked about is a little bit like this, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? So make sure that we kind of keep those hands soft, right? That way we can kind of take a little bit of that hit off of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's try it again. There you go. Much better job of controlling it. So you feel this, it's soft.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
feel that? It's soft. It's not an aggressive hit or anything like that.
Okay.
It's just kind of swinging and capturing the ball.
Yeah.
At least that's how I kind of feel about it
Okay.
when I do it right. All right, it's not a lot of smash factor going on there. Yeah, good. Keeping it under 100. That's good. Keeping it soft. Oh, now he's hitting pins, man. Now he's hitting pins. All right. Okay, let's keep going though. All right. So I'm going to move the ball around here a little bit.
Okay.
Move it on over here. Okay.
Is that 24?
Yeah, it's about seven yards down. So Where are we going to try to feel like we kind of hit it to, right? Good. A little bit of a hit there.
Yeah.
Huh?
Plus I felt like I was trying to guide it.
Yeah, don't guide it. Just let the club do the work, right? Just on your follow through, just focus on that butt of the club getting back towards your left hip, okay? All right, focus on that. There you go. All right, keeping our arms close to our body, very soft. Okay, good. Good. There you go, good swing. Okay, I don't know why that's not working, but that's okay. That was a better technique. Maybe we'll get this guy out of the way. Maybe he's interfering with something for whatever reason. Technology.
Probably way too far. Not as far. Okay.
All
I
right.
thought I gave it a try.
Right, but now I mean, you got an uphill putt right there, right?
That's not bad.
But I can tell that's a lot softer
Yeah,
than what it was before. So
for sure.
on this shot right here, I want you to choke down to the steel, okay? And then give me that same swing, right? I think the big thing for you is just cutting off the length,
Yeah.
right? So you can have somewhat of an aggressive go at it, right? There you go, right? Good. Yeah, look at this guy. Perfect. Right? And, you know, in the world of golf, right, I mean, unless we're throwing high spinner wedges at it, that's a pretty good result for what we're going for, right? I mean, especially, you know, if I put you on a real course, right, and you're looking at a bunker back behind you on a, that's scary, right?
Yeah.
But if I could get you to just have what a 7 or 8 footer up the hill, you've got a chance at par, birdie, or bogey, whatever we're trying to go for right there.
Sure.
Okay. Let's keep going with that. How does that feel? Are you starting to understand the changes?
Yeah, like you say, it feels a lot softer. It's not the, quarter or 1/3 of my full swing. It just, that mindset's not even part of this.
Yeah. So I mean, it's, you know, in the world of golf, there's so many different games, right? And short game has to have its own swing, its own fundamentals, right? And it's because most of the people that come to me, I need a driver lesson, I need an iron lesson, right? And they learn that quite a bit, right? But then when they get to the short game, they haven't practiced that, but they do have a good maybe full swing, and they just try to cut it down, cut it in half, and try to, you know, and it makes sense. I mean, if you think about it, that's what makes sense. But we've got to really think about these games around the green as a different, whole nother swing, right? Just as putting would be a whole nother swing.
Sure.
Just as a sand bunker would be a same swing, right? You got to get the idea that, you know, bunker shot and driver shot's two different techniques, right? And if those are two different techniques, then this needs to be a different technique. Putting needs to be a different technique.
Sure.
And they all have their own little compartments, right? And that's the big thing I think with a lot of amateur players is that they don't, not that they don't spend a lot of time on the short game, they just bring the full swing into the short game, and no matter how much they practice, they're always struggling. Right? Because they're not getting the proper release and the proper swing for that technique. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Any questions?
No. We'll work on the pitch next time.
Okay. Well, this should give you a lot to work on right here. You know, when I was learning this technique, this is what I started off with, was knowing what the chip was, getting to the feel of release one, right? Because I could give you the other technique, but then I guarantee you're going to be out on the course. Which one do I want to play? You're going to be fighting because you want to know what technique to use all the time, right? Right now, just use this one, okay? Unless you get in some real fluffy grass, okay? Then I would try to maybe get some loft on it a little bit and allow that to kind of go. But for short lies around the green, if you're kind of buried in a little thing, this is a great technique for it. It will get you through and get you out of there. And to be honest with you, you're probably going to use 85 to 90% of your short game shots with this technique.
Yeah.
So we'll get to the pitch shot and all that, the release where we want to kind of feel like we're the Chichi Rodriguez, you know, putting it right here.
Yeah.
But right now, just kind of get the feet together, feel like your weight's forward, and feel like that club is pointing back towards your left hip. That will get your chest to move through it,
Yeah.
right, and go through, okay? But a lot of people, they get here, and then it's just kind of like half swing, stop,
Yeah.
right, flip left, right? Because it's way too much energy. They know it. They kind of, something's got to stop.
Yeah.
Left it usually goes, unless they're aiming far right. They didn't know it. Does
Right.
that make sense?
Okay.
Okay. But this is kind of more where we want to kind of
I'm gonna
live.
do it one more.
Yeah, absolutely. Do it a couple more
Just-
times for
just
me,
so-
please. Get a feel for it, man. There you go. Feet close together, right? All right. Choking down. All right. Club ever so slightly forward. Shaft lean ever so slightly forward. Good. All right. And get that by the club pointing back towards our left hip. Okay. So, what degree loft is that?
This is 53, I think.
Okay, so do you have your 50, you got your, is this your 56 or 60?
That's probably 56.
That's 56, yeah. Give that guy a chance. Okay. And I know you like this guy, this 53, but
I know.
I think he'd be better placed on a wall.
Yeah, I use that so much. You know, the weird thing is, that is my oldest club, and it was given to me. So I had a sand wedge that came with my first set of clubs,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, within a couple months, I was hitting at the range, and the damn head went flying out into the range. And a guy at the pro shop, he's just like, "Oh, we got a bunch of clubs. Come down and just pick from one," you know. And I saw that sand wedge, and then I've had it ever since. So almost 10 years I've had that thing.
Okay. Well,
And it was free, and you know, I mean, when you just use something all the time, you know, you kind of get used to it, right? But yeah, I could probably.
all right, so mind your feet there. Mind your feet. Okay. There you go, right? Square on, right? I don't want to start getting the feet open, then I got to swing out to the right, got to hook the face left. It's just confusing. So keep your
Okay.
feet square as possible.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, good. Jumping down, good. There you go. That's the better shot for us.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
Look how much that quickly stops for you right there.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Not to say that old Bessie over here back in the 80s wasn't good, but I'm just saying there's so much more technology in that club compared to this guy
Sure.
right here.
Yeah.
I just think you're going to get a much better result
Yeah.
from what we're trying to work on here.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Okay. Give me 2 or 3 more here, and then we'll let you go be free in the world. You
Yeah.
got golf today?
No.
No?
Not today. Saturday, Sunday. But yeah, that is, you know, something I gotta break myself of doing, because I do like to tend to do this.
Now,
I don't know why. I think I saw like somebody doing that a long time ago, and I didn't do it for the longest time, and then all of a sudden I just started doing that.
I mean, there is some technique to that. I mean,
Yeah.
I wouldn't lie. I mean, there is some. If I were to kind of do that, right, I wouldn't really get my feet this far open,
Yeah.
per se. But there are times, right, where I see like JT especially, he'll get the ball back behind his foot like this, still
Yeah.
keeping a square stance.
Yeah.
But he's really just trying to drive the ball down and through.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And it's usually when he's up against the rough collar,
Yeah.
something where he can make sure he's dropping that club down on it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense a little bit?
Yeah.
But there is a technique to that, but it's really more of a specialty shot. When we find ourselves, you know, like here's the bunker and I've got kind of a small play.
Yeah.
It's a very specialty shot. Something I'd probably use maybe once every 5 or 6 rounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
But not every time.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'd much rather have this other technique, and I think it's just going to be. There you go. Good. Yeah. All right, and it doesn't have to be exact, but what kind of works best for you as far as that stance goes, right? But yeah, I love that setup now. Everything's so compact and soft. I mean, now you're giving it a chance to go in.
Yeah.
Okay? Give me two more here, buddy. Give me two more.
It's in the hole.
Oh!
It's in
Now he's in the hole.
Yeah,
Holy cow.
Let's end on a high note.
All right, sounds good. All right, so
That's where you like to just walk off.
absolutely, man.
That's
Kind of like that walk-off home
Yeah.
run. See ya. Throw the bat to the bat, boy. Have a good time with that kid. I'm out of here.
That was the Seinfeld episode, end on a high note.